Good evening. You're watching the news tonight, your daily roundup of all that has happened across India and the world. I'm Ishan Russell, and these are the headlines that we're tracking tonight. Congress MPs return to the Lok Sabha after suspensions. The parliament remains deadlocked as party sticks to demand for resignation of BJP ministers. The government tells the Supreme Court that it's committed to blocking child pornography but insists that it cannot ban adult sites. Madras High Court cancels interim bail for former Union Telecom Minister Dayanidhi Maran. CBI says he wasn't cooperating in the investigation. Temple stampede claims 11 lives in Deoghar district of Jharkhand. Crowds go out of control during the Sawan Somwar festival. And 5 people killed and 17 injured in a car bomb blast by the Taliban at Kabul airport. Afghan government urges clampdown on the group's activity in Pakistan. The top story this evening, as the Congress leaders returned to the lower house of Parliament today, so did the uproar over the Lalit Gate and the Vyapam scam. The opposition stayed put on its demand for the resignations of tainted ministers, following to the adjournment of the House 4 times. But fissures appeared within the opposition as well. Samajwadi Party chief Mulayam Singh told the Congress party that he would not be party to their protests, saying that the House must function. He also conveyed his feelings to Speaker Sumitra Mahajan during a meeting she had with party leaders.
Opposition MPs that had boycotted Lok Sabha proceedings for the last 5 days came back to the House today as the suspension of 25 Congress MPs ended. However, there was no change in their strategy as the Congress once again accused Sushma Swaraj of having professional links with Lalit Modi. An adjournment motion on the issue was rejected by the Speaker earlier. As the opposition remained adamant on their demand for the resignations of errant ministers, Mulayam Singh Yadav asked the chair to find a way out of the logjam by talks.
सुषमा स्वराज जी ने अपना वक्तव्य यहाँ पर किया जब कोई अपोजिशन के नेता लोग भी यहाँ नहीं थे, अपोजिशन पार्टी के भी लोग नहीं थे, और ये जो है ये सिर्फ अपने तरफ से वक्तव्य देने से समाप्त होने वाला नहीं है। उन्होंने जो किया है और उन्होंने जो कदम उठाया है वो देश के हित में तो नहीं उठाया।
इस पक्ष में है कि सदन चले और ये ज़्यादा दिन तक ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए। मैं इस पक्ष में हूँ। कृपा करके मेरी एक आपसे प्रार्थना है, हमेशा स्पीकर चाहता तो बंद हो जाता, बुला लिए इनको, हमें सबको बुला लिए, अभी बंद हो जाएगा।
The uproar forced the House to be adjourned before question hour could be completed. After question hour, the Speaker summoned opposition parties for talks. Following more uproar, the House had to be adjourned till 2 p.m. When order could not be restored, leader of the Congress party in Lok Sabha, Mallikarjun Kharge, asked the Speaker to adjourn the House.
Rules also says when the House is not in order, no business can transaction will take place. Then how the chair is allowing the other businesses, and when we are in the well, we are suspended. When they are speaking, they are putting their views, you are telling that it is as per rule. So and other members, they have got other rules and we have got other rules. Therefore I request you, the House is not in order, you kindly adjourn the House.
Little work has been done in Lok Sabha during the monsoon session. The opposition has been demanding the resignations of External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj and Rajasthan Chief Minister Vasundhara Raje over the Lalit Modi issue, and that of the Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan over the Vyapam scam. With inputs from Pranav Goswami, Bureau Report for Rajya Sabha TV.
There was barely any business in the Rajya Sabha as well amid protests. The opposition lashed out at the government for adopting a dictatorial stance and failing to find a solution to end the ongoing impasse. The government also hit out at the opposition, claiming the protests are a pretext to scuttle the GST bill.
The stalemate between the government and the opposition continued unabated, even in the upper house on Monday. Leader of the opposition Ghulam Nabi Azad said that an impression was being created that Parliamentary Affairs Minister had spoken to Congress leaders to end the stalemate over Lalit Gate and Vyapam scam. But he claimed the reports are far from reality.
मैं ये स्पष्ट करना चाहता हूं कि ऐसी कोई मीटिंग नहीं हुई थी अलबत्ता उन्होंने टेलीफोन किया था, लेकिन वो गतिरोध को तोड़ने के लिए नहीं था। वो उनका सलाह था कि माननीय स्पीकर साहिबा ने कांग्रेस के एमपीज को निकाला है उस सदन से 5 दिन के लिए, तो यदि अगर कुछ लोग उनसे बात कर सकें।
Refuting all allegations, Leader of the House Arun Jaitley slammed the opposition for employing obstructionist strategy. He also claimed that the real intention of the opposition is to prevent the passage of the GST bill.
You can't have a house conducted in a manner where the government is not allowed to speak. Sir, we get an uneasy impression. We get an uneasy impression that the issue of the External Affairs Minister is only a pretext. Their real reason is they don't want the Constitution amendment on the GST to be cleared in this section.
It is you as leader of the opposition who has said that dissent and disruption in the House is the part of the democracy. You not once, twice, thrice, 4 times, 6 times. So
Okay,
it has come, it is what you have taught us.
Other opposition parties also joined ranks with the Congress in criticizing government's efforts to end the logjam. Deputy Chairman PJ Curran had to step in to broker truce but failed to pacify the protesting members.
कभी हमने नहीं देखा कि जो रूलिंग पार्टी है उसकी तरफ से जो हालात बने हुए हैं उन हालातों में कोई भी बीच का या अलग तरीके का रास्ता आपने कभी नहीं दिया। ये अलग मीटिंग भी होती थी, जो यहाँ हो रहा है वो उस मीटिंग में होता है, तो जो चीज़ें हैं वो फंसी हुई हैं।
अगर प्रधानमंत्री जी सदन में आकर बात करते, अगर प्रधानमंत्री जी एक दिन में मीटिंग बुलाते सबकी, तो शायद कुछ समाधान निकलता, कहीं ना कहीं कुछ हो सकता है। हो सकता है हम लोगों के विचार अलग अलग कुछ हो सकते भी पड़े।
See, in a democracy, government and opposition are both equally important. For running the house, both are responsibility. Both should come halfway. You meet, discuss and try to find out a solution.
Amid protests, the Motor Vehicles Amendment Bill 2014 was withdrawn. With no reconciliation in sight, the chair adjourned the House till Tuesday. Kriti Mishra, Rajya Sabha TV.
Till 11 a.m. tomorrow.
And with opposition members unrelenting, the stalemate is expected to go on in the parliament. In fact, what has been coming in from the parliament is that the opposition completely adamant, though there are fissures in that opposition unity, with Samajwadi Party saying that the House should function, though the other parties have been along with the Congress. Even in the upper house, the Samajwadi Party member you saw over there speaking out, saying that the government has not done enough, and it's completely a conversation breakdown between the government and the opposition. The government and the opposition at loggerheads in Parliament. This is the final week of the monsoon session of Parliament, and the stalemate still continues. We are joined by C.L. Manoj, Assistant Political Editor at the Economic Times, to help us understand. Manoj, as far as this stalemate continues, it seems the entire monsoon session will be a washout given the way things are progressing, and it's a complete breakdown in communication between the government and the opposition, isn't it?
Well, I think you're right, because we have only 3 more days remaining in this monsoon session. But as you know that politics, 3 days is a long time. There are efforts going on to bring an end to this deadlock from the government, and also as you saw today in both the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, at least a section of the opposition now is pitching for a debate. Whereas the Congress, left and some UP allies are saying that there can be a debate only after the resignation of the External Affairs Minister and the Chief Ministers of Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. And the government also has some important bills to try and push it through. There is GST in the Rajya Sabha, which is being, very eagerly awaited by the industry and all. And there are also other bills. So next 3 days, I think the government will try and at least divide the opposition to look for a way to start at least some discussion or to bring in some legislative business. yes, as of today, there is a major deadlock in both the houses.
All right, but you mentioned about the GST bill, and that is a critical legislation because the government, the timeline that it's set for its implementation of the goods and services tax bill, I mean, that timeline would not be met if the bill is not introduced in the upper house during this monsoon session itself, if it's delayed till the winter session. Isn't that so?
Yes, as you are aware that there is a deadline for the GST to be rolled out, that is on the 1st of April of 2016. So to make it happen, ideally the Parliament should clear this Constitution Amendment Bill in this session, because then there is a provision that half of the states have to ratify that. So that is adding to the urgency of the government, and since it is a Constitution Amendment Bill, the bill requires the two-third majority of the voters present and voting for it, and both houses, while they vote for it, at least half of the strength of the house should be present in the house. But as we are aware that there is already a select committee of Rajya Sabha has given a report with some amendments, with Congress has some reservations. They have another set of suggestions which were rejected by the select committee. But otherwise I find there is a larger consensus within the NDA as well as many regional parties, especially those parties who have their own state governments, because they think that the GST will be good for all the states. But it all depends on the floor managers of the government side, how they can try and cut through the opposition from the Congress and bridge a larger agreement with the rest of the opposition. Only 3 more days for a Constitution Amendment Bill. Many people think that it is a very difficult task, but nevertheless I am sure that government will continue to try for the remaining 2 to 3 days.
All right, Manoj, one final question in terms of, I mean, this will be more attuned to your opinion because you've covered the Parliament for this long. In terms of the efforts that the government and both the opposition, I mean, especially the government has had to make in this regard, has that effort been enough? Has the government done enough to reach out to the opposition, or has the government missed a trick in this session?
Well, see, as of now, what you see is that on the one side, the government is trying to put an end to the logjam, but at the same time, there is a section within the opposition, especially Congress, some UP allies and the left front. They are very clear that there cannot be a debate in both houses unless the government make the external affairs minister and the chief ministers of Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan resign on account of the Lalit Modi issue and the Vabam issue. So both sides have taken a very extreme position. So the effort is to find a kind of go between and try to find a ground middle road. But today you must have watched that in Parliament, especially in the Lok Sabha, there are some parties, especially Mr. Mulayam Singh Yadav, Samajwadi Party, said that they would like to have a solution to this problem. They would want to have a debate, and also they want their MPs to raise the constituency related issues. So this is a way many people think is an attempt to dilute the unity of the larger opposition parties. I think from tomorrow we will see how effective the government can work on these different or divergent views with coming out of the opposition, at least from today. So we'll wait tomorrow to see how the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha see this different plays within the opposition is playing out, and how government will work on that. But only 3 more days, so obviously the clock is ticking away for everybody, especially for the government.
All right, on that rather somber note, we'll leave it there. But Manoj, thank you very much for coming in. Time running out for the government. Just 3 days left in the monsoon session of Parliament, and critical bills like the GST are still pending. Thanks very much, Manoj, for that. Now, the opposition raised objections over the appointments of governors to Bihar and Himachal Pradesh in the upper house today. Acting on the central government's advice, the president had appointed the governors to Bihar and Himachal Pradesh on Saturday. But the Janata Dal United claimed that the appointments were done without consulting the concerned chief ministers. JDU MP KC Tyagi gave a notice under Rule 267 for suspension of business over the issue. He also got support from the Samajwadi Party. However, the motion was not allowed by the chair.
नीतीश कुमार जी को रेडियो में समाचार सुनने को मिला है कि श्री कोविंद जी वहां के गवर्नर।
Okay, now you conclude.
तो जब
That's
आप
okay.
रहेंगे अपोजिशन में,
त्यागी जी,
आपके स्टैंडर्ड दूसरे,
Okay, त्यागी
और
जी,
जब
please.
सरकार में आएंगे जो आपके स्टैंडर्ड
त्यागी जी,
दूसरे,
okay.
तो मैं
ये जो गवर्नर का अपॉइंटमेंट है, ये सरकार का एक तरह से भारत सरकार का, राज्य सरकार का चुने हुए मुख्यमंत्री के बीच का एक ऐसा मामला है जो दोनों के बीच में कम्युनिकेट करता है। आपने ये जो काम किया है, जो त्यागी जी ने उठाया, वो ये कहना चाहते हैं कि ये परंपरा से विपरीत आपने किया है।
मुख्यमंत्री क्या मना कर देते कि रामनाथ कोविंद को आपने कर दिया तो वो कहेंगे कि मत करिए। ये उनको टेलीविजन से मालूम पड़े, ये अच्छी बात नहीं। ये स्वस्थ जो संवैधानिक और संसदीय परंपराएं हैं उनके विपरीत है।
Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is scheduled to visit the United States from the 23rd to 28th of September. During the 6-day tour, Modi will address a high-level summit at the United Nations on Sustainable Development on the 25th of September. He's also expected to visit the Silicon Valley, Stanford University and offices of internet giant Google. During the final leg of his visit, the Prime Minister will hold a bilateral meeting with President Obama on 28th of September. This will be the Prime Minister's second visit to the country after assuming office last year. Before this, Modi would be visiting UAE next week on a 2-day official tour. Now, the Union government has shown helplessness in enforcing a ban on porn websites, saying it cannot be present in everyone's bedroom. On a petition asking for a ban on porn sites in the country, Attorney General Mukul Rohatgi argued that even though child pornography has to be banned, we cannot become a totalitarian state.
In a climb down of sorts, the centre has told the Supreme Court that it cannot do moral policing in the name of curbing child pornography. Arguing for the Union government, Attorney General Mukul Rohatgi told the Apex Court that the state cannot be present in every household to check what people were watching in private and interfere with their entertainment. Rohatgi also told the court that there was need for some self-regulation to check the viewing of porn websites, saying the state cannot be totalitarian.
The provisions of law 67, 67A and 67B of the Information Technology Act clearly ban transmission of pornography, obscenity and sexually explicit acts.
Supporters of the ban, however, say that action should also be taken against companies that transmit pornographic content.
Court feels that in the privacy of the room, one can watch. I am saying, no, sir. You cannot watch pornography in the privacy of your room because from A to Z, 1 to 100, it is completely a criminal activity.
Last week, the government had blocked over 850 portals that showed adult content on grounds of morality and decency. The order was partially revoked after an angry backlash amid a raging debate on censorship in a democracy. The government ordered internet service providers to shut down sites that promote child pornography, but these service providers say the order is ambiguous and impractical. With inputs from Vipin Chauhan, Bureau Report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Time for us to take a very quick break right now. Coming up on the other side, former Telecom Minister Dayanidhi Maran's interim bail has been cancelled by the High Court. He's been asked to surrender within 3 days. More on that on the other side.
Tales that inspire, stories of social change. A salute to diversity, promoting public discourse. Events that motivate, inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries every Friday at 10:30 p.m, Saturday 12:30 p.m and Sunday at 1 p.m.
Welcome back. You're watching the news tonight. Now, at least 11 people were killed in a stampede in Jharkhand's Deoghar district today. 30 others were also injured when devotees broke the queue outside the famous Bela Bagan temple for the annual Savan Somvar celebrations. CM Raghuvar Das has ordered an inquiry and announced compensation as well.
Barely weeks after a stampede killed 27 people in the Rajya Mandri district of Andhra Pradesh, a similar tragedy taking place in Jharkhand. A swelling crowd went out of control, turning the Savan Somvar celebration into a tragedy outside the Bela Bagan temple in Deoghar district.
दुर्भाग्य की बात है कि सारी हमारी कोशिशों के बावजूद इस प्रकार की घटना हुई और हम इसके लिए बहुत दुखी हैं। हमारा पूरा प्रशासन बहुत दुखी है और हम इसको सभी बिंदुओं पर समीक्षा कर रहे हैं और मैं आपको आश्वासन दे सकता हूं कि इस तरह की घटना न हो, इसकी हम पूरी कोशिश जी तोड़ कोशिश करेंगे। कांवरियों की भारी भीड़ लाइन लगने की होड़ में या लाइन में आगे बढ़ने की होड़ में काफ़ी तादाद में चल पड़े और चल पड़ने के कारण जो कांवरिये लाइन में लगे हुए थे उसके बीच में ये अफरा तफरी हो गई, भगदड़ हो गई, जिसके कारण ये घटना हुई।
The injured were taken to nearby hospitals. The Chief Minister ordered an immediate probe and announced compensation for the victims.
राज्य सरकार ने तय किया कि प्रत्येक मृतक कांवरियों को 2 लाख रुपया और जो घायल कांवरिया उनको 50,000 रुपया राज्य सरकार देगी। इसके साथ साथ हमने एक हाई लेवल कमेटी भी बना दी है होम सेक्रेटरी के अध्यक्षता में, ताकि पूरी घटना की जानकारी हाई लेवल कमेटी लेके आएगी। उसके बाद सरकार फिर उस कमेटी के अनुसार कार्रवाई करेगी।
The centre said it rushed rapid action force personnel to Devghar for better management of the crowd.
तुरंत ही मैंने आदेश किया है कि एक रैपिड एक्शन फोर्स देवघर के वहाँ के यात्रियों की सुरक्षा के लिए, सुविधा के लिए मुहैया कराई जाए और वह फोर्स वहाँ पर भेजी जा चुकी है। मैं सभी जितने परिवार हैं, मृतक परिवार, उन परिवारों के प्रति अपनी संवेदना व्यक्त करता हूँ और इस घटना को बहुत ही दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण और दुखद मानता हूँ।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi led several other political leaders on Twitter in expressing their condolences. Devghar witnessed a similar tragedy in August 2007 when 5 women were killed and 11 injured at the Baidyanath temple. The Shravan month sees over 30 lakh people offering prayers at temples in Devghar. On Mondays, the spike in numbers brings over 2 lakh people to this tiny town. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The Madras High Court has cancelled the bail plea of former Telecom Minister Dayanidhi Maran in the alleged illegal telephone exchange case. He's been asked to surrender before the CBI within 3 days. Maran has been accused by the CBI of misusing his office to illicitly construct an underground telecom exchange at his Chennai residence. The CBI claims that hundreds of cables capable of transmitting large volumes of data were used by Maran to benefit Sun TV, owned by his brother Kalanidhi Maran. Time now to take a look at what else is making news across the country nationwide. Suspected Maoists have torched 4 vehicles engaged in construction work in Chhattisgarh's Narayanpur district. They also threatened the labourers to leave the site. The armed group fled into the jungle after torching the vehicles. A combing operation has been launched to nab them. The wreckage of the missing Pavanand's chopper has been found this morning in Tirap district of Arunachal Pradesh. The chopper went missing 6 days ago with 3 on board. The fate of the occupants, including a senior police official, is still not known. A ground search operation has been launched in nearby areas to locate them. Sri Lanka will release 40 Indian fishermen who were arrested in their territory for fishing. They were arrested by the Lankan Navy in June this year. The cases against the fishermen have been withdrawn. However, their boats and equipment remain in custody to discourage them from crossing the international maritime boundary line. Some international news now, and Afghanistan President Ashraf Ghani today lambasted Pakistan over the recent wave of insurgent attacks in capital Kabul. Blaming Islamabad directly, Ghani said that Pakistan remained as a venue from which mercenaries are sending messages of war. Ghani's strong words came after Afghan capital was hit by another deadly attack on Monday. 5 people were killed and 17 injured after a car bomb exploded near the entrance of the Kabul airport. The suicide bomber drove his vehicle into the first checkpoint and detonated it. A young child was amongst those injured in the explosion. The incident is the latest in the series of deadly attacks after the Taliban announced recently a new leader. The terrorist outfit claimed responsibility for the attack.
موږ پاکستان نه دا غواړو چې هغه حلقات باندې چې افغانستان مقابل کې بغاوت کې دي عملی اقدام وکړي دوی د بغاوت مخه ونیسي.
And Turkey came under a wave of attacks with a police station and the US consulate in Istanbul coming under fire on Monday. 6 security personnel were killed, while a female suspect was detained.
Multiple attacks in Turkey killed at least 6 security personnel on Monday. A roadside bomb left 4 police officers dead in the southeastern Sirnak province, while 1 soldier died when gunmen fired on a military helicopter. A police officer was killed in Istanbul in clashes after a car bombing. The far-left Revolutionary People's Liberation Army Front claimed responsibility for the attacks on its website. The deadly attacks began at around 1 a.m. local time in Sultanbeyli area of Istanbul when a vehicle-borne bomb exploded near the police station, wounding at least 10 people. Then around 6:45 a.m., assailants opened fire at security forces guarding the damaged police station. The second attack was targeted at the US consulate in Istanbul. 2 female assailants fired indiscriminately at the consulate building. One of them was later detained.
Polis bağırıyordu işte çantanı at diye, çantanı bırak gibisinden. Kadın da bağırıyordu. Teslim olmayacağım, sürücünün intikamını almaya geldim. İşte sürücünün intikamı alınacak gibisinden bağırıyordu. Tekrar polis yine uyarıyordu bırak diye, işte çantayı bırak, işte etkisiz hale getirmek zorunda kalacağız seni diye.
The attacks come in the wake of Turkey launching a synchronized war on terror. Apart from joining the United States in its fight against the Islamic State, the operation includes detention of hundreds of terror suspects within the country. Monday's attack is believed to be a reaction to the detention of several members of the Revolutionary People's Liberation Army Front in the recent weeks. Bureau Report, Rajya TV.
Some sports now, and India opener Murali Vijay will miss the first test against Sri Lanka due to a hamstring injury. Team director Ravi Shastri said that the batsman has not yet recovered from the injury. Vijay sustained the injury in Zimbabwe during India's recent one-day series. He did not bat in either of the innings of India's only warm-up match in Sri Lanka. He'll be replaced by Lokesh Rahul, who has played only 2 tests. Vijay has been the most consistent batsman for India in the recent past, scoring over 2,000 runs in 32 tests with an average of over 40. Time now for all the sporting action in Sportsbeat. Hockey India has suspended player Gurbad Singh for 9 months. The midfielder was charged with misbehaviour and creating disharmony within the team. He was accused of forming groups within. His attitude was also questioned. The suspension could cost him an appearance in the 2016 Rio Olympics. However, he has a chance to appeal against the decision within 30 days. Indian shuttlers P. Kashyap and H.S. Pranoy advanced to the second round of the World Badminton Championship. Both won in straight games in the opening round. Commonwealth gold medalist Kashyap defeated Netherlands' Eric Mays, while Pranoy made a comeback after being sidelined due to a foot injury to beat Brazil's Alex Yuan Yong. The Indo-Romanian pair of Rohan Bopanna and Florin Merghea crashed out of the City Open after losing to top seeds Bob and Mike Bryan in the men's doubles semi-finals. The third seed lost 3-6, 4-6 against their much-experienced American opponents on the half court. The Bryan brothers will now face the second seed Brazil-Croat pair of Marcelo Melo and Ivan Dodic. In the men's finals, Japan's Kei Nishikori beat the big-serving John Isner in 3 sets to win the City Open. The second-seeded broke the serve of the American once in the second set and again in the third set to win 4-6, 6-4, 6-4. It was Nishikori's 3rd title of the season and the 10th of his career. Well, that's the news tonight. Good night.